So we continue to study Robin Lewis and Michael Dart in the Four Waves of Retail and how did actually retail in the US evolve through the decades. So at the risk of sounding like a history professor, I'm going to take you briefly through these phases and kind of explain what happened as retail evolved. In the 1800 to 1970s era, this was the industrial age for America. Manufacturing was booming. We were becoming the powerhouse globally. We were making products. Stores like Sears, department stores really got their foot on the ground. And if you build it, they will come. Customers were coming to shop here. They carried all types of products. It was really kind of like a mass approach to merchandising. The late 1970s into the 1980s, which of course was the best decade. I am a child of the 80s, and the 80s was an enormous economic time. Things were good. People had jobs. It was really, really fun time. Specialty retail started to emerge, so all the stores that actually make up the malls began to populate the malls. Brands like Ralph Lauren really led the trek in terms of lifestyle brands, and they were very marketing driven. If you can remember Calvin Klein, Tommy Hilfiger, Ralph Lauren, these brands really were trendsetters in how we marketed fashion in the US. But as we led into the 1980s, later in the 1980s to 2010, which is about a 30-year period, things started to shift a little bit. The market became more consumer-driven. There was brand proliferation. And category killers came onto the scene, aka Home Depot started to push Main Street out of business. And so retailers had to rethink the way that they were doing business for the American consumer. Outlets and off-price became something as an emerging business. We started to become overstored, over-inventoried, and that's why those things saw the opportunity and really started to grow. Now here we are today, from 2010 until now, it really, really exploded in technology. That is where e-commerce really took its hold, and there has been no other industry in the history that has grown at the rate, at the speed that e-commerce really has, and digital commerce. So this is the time of the smartphone. Apple and Amazon really got ahead and really are dominating the market, as you know. Global and lifestyle shifts took place. People were traveling. There was less boundaries to doing global business, and e-commerce and digital commerce really enabled that. So that's where we are today, and we'll continue to look at more in depth some of the factors that impacted the four waves of retail.